Welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. It's my great pleasure to have Ralph Shearing from Prince Silver, a brand new company in silver with very high potential, high impact, and high-grade silver project in Nevada. Welcome, Ralph.
Thank you very much, Chen. Pleasure to be here.
Well, good. Welcome back. Since we last talked, you made a lot of progresses. Tell us where you are and what you're heading towards.
Well, so our Prince Silver project, an old mine that we've decided to acquire through an acquisition of a Nevada subsidiary company. So we've announced that, we've raised some money, and we are drilling. So what the plan is to go in. There's an old exploration program that 129 drill holes on the project, and those drill holes were incorporated into a private report by the Australian previous owners of it under JORC standards. So the JORC is the equivalent of 43-101 in Australia. Mm-hmm. But they weren't able to publish it because the drill spacing was a little too far apart. So it's an easy exercise for us to go in and infill drill to close up that spacing and be able to publish our first resource. It would be the maiden resource for the Prince Silver project. And we hope to do that in the first or second quarter of next year with the drill program that is now underway.
Good. Very fast.
There's no point in sitting around. We're in a good market, and it's time to go. So
good. So you're actively drilling now. We should expect a lot of news coming.
Correct. We're drilling. We have 2 holes completed, third one being drilled. And we're conducting a financing right now. And when we close that financing, that'll give us enough money to add a second drill. And we do have a drill available from our contractor in November. So we hope to have 2 drills working on the project in November through Christmas into January, maybe into February. And that should give us all the drill holes we need to come up with a very significant resource next year.
Significant resource in Nevada.
Correct. Yeah.
Plus potentially manganese.
So the project is silver, zinc, gold, lead, and manganese. And manganese is very interesting. So we have on this project 3 strategic metals: gold, silver, and manganese.
Yes.
And if you look at some of our peer companies who've been exploring and developing manganese projects, such as Aftermath Silver or South 32 in the US, they have achieved very high recoveries through hydrometallurgical processing. So their testing has proven 80-90% recoveries in these metals. And we are hoping to achieve the same thing. And if we do that, and we use those types of recoveries in what we call the exploration target, which was what the Australians outlined that they weren't able to publish, because they weren't able to publish it in a technical report because of the drill spacing, they've outlined an exploration target. And that exploration target is between 25 million tons to 43 million tons at certain grades. There's a high grade and a low grade end. So if we take the midpoints of that and we calculate a silver equivalent using the recoveries that our peers have achieved in the same process, then we could have easily 100 million ounces of silver equivalent on the low end, and that's without manganese. If you add manganese, on the low end, we're looking at 150 million silver equivalent ounces. So, and again, I have to stress, this is not, we have not got a resource out. So this is a conceptual idea of what this project could develop into.
Right, that's the base case, the minimum, and then you potentially can expand this project.
We are hoping to expand the size of it because we're not only infill drilling, we're stepping out of the areas and trying to bring in more ore within that area. And this is an old production project. It was all chasing high grade structures in manto veins. And what we're looking at is a potential open pit to start off with, and then eventually going underground into the deeper things. So I think the economics could be very, very good for us.
Yeah, well, especially in this market.
Yeah. In this still a lot of work to do. I mean, we still have to get the metallurgy done. We have to make sure the drills prove what we believe is there. But I think we're on our way.
On the way, and because you have a historical, even the higher spacing holes, you can visualize. I think I welcome people to go to your website to see the presentation, and then you can see the minimum 100 million ounce silver equivalent right there, and then probably a lot more.
That's the potential, and I believe there's a lot more there. It's just a question of having the resources to actually continue to drill and get the ultimate size of this project, and it could be much, much larger.
Much more. Yeah, great. Then tell us what's your the market cap right now?
We're about 50, between 45, 50 million, depending on what day you look at the stock.
Keep going up.
Yeah, we've had a really good run lately. We've been able to attract funding. So we've done 2 financings in the last several months. We just announced a third financing for $3 million to expand that drill program. And we expect to close that in the coming weeks.
Oh, great. I mean, the one thing amazing I found you versus some companies is when you announce financing, the share actually goes out because there's so much demand for your share. They couldn't satisfy in financing that bought from the open market. So it's very common, like typical, like right now you're trading at least 50% higher, 50% higher than the financing price.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because the last financing we announced was a $1.25 million financing to increase the drilling size. And we announced it, and within 6 hours of the day we announced, we had $4 million offered to us. But we couldn't take it because our price reservation was only a couple of days from expiring, so we couldn't upsize. But anyways, I mean, that's what this project is attracting.
So. Well, it's attracting because people see the valuation, right? Because you're only $40 million market, 45 million market cap. And if you have 100 million early next year, 100 million ounce or higher, maybe 200 million ounce, what kind of valuation?
Well, I mean, now you're stepping out there, but
forward-looking statement.
Obviously, it's going to be higher.
Higher.
Yeah, exactly. And it just look at our peer companies, and you can see what market caps they have, and that's what we're striving to.
Give us some example. 100 million ounce. What kind of typical market cap is?
80, 90, 100 million, something like that. So we're striving to achieve that. But again, I stress that we still have a lot of work to do, but I'm very encouraged with the way it's going and what I see so far.
All right, excellent. So you will have a very, very busy season coming, a lot of drilling results, and me too. I just hope to visit your project when.
Sure. Well, it's probably a good time late this fall. The weather's going to be good down there. It's nice and cool. The drills are turning, so we'll try to get a site visit organized.
That'll be great. So that investor can see this historical project. Do you have time to quickly touch the other big porphyry project?
So when we acquired this Nevada shell company, it had 2 projects. One was the Prince Silver, which we're concentrating on. And about 10, 15 miles to the north, it has a very large alteration zone in a porphyry, copper, molybdenum, gold environment. There's lots of geochem with all 3 of those elements. Australians drilled 4 holes on what looks like the periphery of the zone, and one of those holes hit, I think it's 450, 500 meters of ore-grade molybdenum and anomalous copper throughout the zone. So this is an area that is very large. Some people have claimed that it's one of the best undeveloped or unexplored porphyry copper potentials in Nevada, but it would likely be a deep-seated porphyry copper. And there's quite a few examples of those types of projects in Nevada. In fact, 100 miles to the north of us, I think it's the Eli Ruth Robertson Chris mine. It's been mined for 40, 50 years, and it's a very similar type of environment. So this is a big project, and we're not planning on spending a lot of money on it right now. And in fact, we would likely plan on, if we could find a larger porphyry copper company to try to do a joint venture or an option agreement to them to allow them to develop and retain an interest, because it is a big project. And then the shareholder can benefit. I mean, if something's found on that project, then it is going to be fantastic.
Good.
That's a long ways away yet, but it's possible.
And then it doesn't carry any value right now to your share price, but there will be cherry on top.
Sure.
On the silver discovery, you're going to give us early next year, right?
Exactly. Yes. And there, that project, even the porphyry copper project, even has CRD possibilities around, because the same type of geology goes into that area, and there's been an intrusive that comes up into it.
CRD. So it's very high grade.
Exactly what we're searching for in Prince.
Okay, great. Okay, welcome back, Ralph. We're looking forward to a lot of news in the coming months.
We'll try to deliver.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chen. My pleasure.
Okay.